we go again.
The turtleneck. The turtleneck.
It's kidding. Let's look. Since you went there right off the cuff, and it looks like we having some issues on Facebook anyway, though, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what's up with it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, let's go ahead and get the music going so we can get into this ASAP since you went there right off the cuff.
The turtleneck.
All right, let's get it.
Yeah.
The Slash Brothers podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you smell what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Hey, listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube, Facebook, and net tweets. We are live on all platforms at the same time. Whenever you click on the notification, you click on the bell, you get the heads up whenever your boys is doing their thing. Ace Kennedy.
What up, bro?
Hey man, let's get into this ASAP, bro. ASAP. Tank and Tyrese versus.
Bruh. Before we jump into there, we had talked about the verses with Hit Boy and Mike Will made it. I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. Wasn't impressed. I should have never watched the Tank and Tyrese before I watched that one. Because Hit Boy did not connect to the audience. He had some hits. From what I listened to, he won one round. That was it.
Okay.
And I didn't get through all of it because I was so bored. It definitely had the pomp and circumstance. Like I thought it was cool that Timberland was there and or whatever. But it didn't work for me. Like I think if you were there, it probably would have been dope. But yeah, Hit Boy did not connect to the audience, and I don't know why I thought Hit Boy was Young Berg. What is Young Berg's producer name?
Young Berg is Hitmaker.
There we go. That's what. Yeah, I was like, what in the why? Because when he was talking, I was like, this don't sound like Berg. And then I looked it up, and I was like, that's definitely not him. So I could not think of Hitmaker's name whatsoever. That's why
I don't see how they look nothing. They look nothing alike. So I don't see how you.
No. I didn't confuse the faces. The names, Hitmaker, Hit Boy. So what I'm saying is, all I knew it was like I knew it was Hit, but I didn't know it was Hit. Like it now that you say Hitmaker, I know that now. But I'm saying like when we were talking about it last pod, that's why I was talking about Young Berg because I was thinking Hitmaker and not Hit Boy.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I think Hit Boy versus Hitmaker would have been a better versus for Hit Boy. And here's the thing I think that's interesting that you mentioned about Hitmaker. Hitmaker has like over 200-some billion streams on all the streaming platforms, though, right? So he got them songs, all right, the catalog wise, just like Hit Boy does. I think that where I think that there was the biggest disconnect if you watch the whole thing. And this is something that shout out to the homeboy Mark gave me the heads up. He's like, yes, when you hear the Hit Boy songs and you hear him pull out the Jay-Z's and you hear him pull out these big songs, you know that, oh, these records have zillions of streams or whatever. But when you ain't connecting with the crowd when you there, connecting with the almost it looks like No Limit versus Cash Money. When you know that Cash Money got some of them songs, right? But it just don't resonate, and the performance of it trumps it. And I think that that's what it was. It was like when Mike Will made it start playing out with some of them, start coming out with some of them club joints, though, man, and the strip club joints. It's just like that one is one of the reasons why I always wonder when we talk about who versus who and who got the songs. And I always say, well, dang, I just wonder if you got the songs, but do you got the songs that really resonate? Do they spotlight a moment of time when when that song was popping? How big was the moment in that time, and how much does that resonate with people? I think that's what happened though, man. These Mike Will made it. You can hear them at any strip club song. You can hear them almost right now at any club music when they're talking about playing a certain genre of danceable club music, though, bro. So, nah, bro, it was bad. But Tank and Tyrese,
Epic. I will say, I mean, nobody's gonna believe anything I say because they know the bias is Tank. But objectively, let me first say I am a fan of Tyrese. I like Tyrese a lot. I love TGT, one of my favorite groups. So I was expecting a good show. I was expecting a close show. Now, me knowing Tank, I know Tank has more hits. I just think Tyrese has the bigger hits. But his bigger hits run out quick because Tank has been back in the music scene with the vengeance. Because while Tyrese is shooting movies and stuff like that, his catalog kind of sat. Now he does have two, recent releases, but I only think he had one big song from the last project, and that's no shot at him. But I'm saying only one song that really had the weight, what I'm saying, of the album. I haven't heard anybody play anything else from the project. So, but the last two albums, like I said, last two albums, he had two big songs, and then the rest is his classic stuff. And so me personally, just off the dome, I thought Tyrese had about 7, and I knew Tank had more than that. So it's man, I was so disappointed because Tyrese sounded nervous, bruh. Like he sounded so rattled. And the excuses started coming. My music ain't loud enough. This is a song my fans wanted me to perform, or like just different stuff. And it was like everything he had to say, Tank was right back firing at him. You know what I'm saying? Just going right back there with him. But obviously we know Tank is on tour most of the year. And he just got done doing a Broadway show, the Alicia Keys joint. So he is performing at a high level all of the time. So he just recently did a Tiny Desk. So this is in his bag. And it's like this. It's like Tank was saying, like, look, bro, the movie talk. And don't get me wrong, I'm an actor too. I do my thing. I may not have the big hits like you. I'm not in Transformers. I'm not in Baby Boy. I'm not in Fast and the Furious, but I still do my thing. But when we talking about this music, though, this is what I do.
Okay, let me ask you this though. This is something I just thought about.
What's up?
Okay, okay, not to diminish Tyrese's acting, but do you think that he's overstating when he say, yeah, thank y'all for coming out to support my music? I mean, not my music, my movies and everything. And like, is Tyrese the star that he think he is? Because like, if I'm gonna be honest with you, right? It's like, yeah, he's in the Transformers, right? But I think that generally speaking, that's the first movie that people think of. And I think that with all things considered, it's like, yeah, he is a cast member is in that, but he isn't the star. Like when I hear him talk about it, you would make it seem like respect the Baby Boy, right?
That's
Like
what I was about to say.
That he is like
no. I don't think the first thing people think of is Transformers. I don't. I honestly think
you don't think so.
I absolutely do not. I think the first thing people think of when it comes to Tyrese is Baby Boy.
After no way, right?
Yes,
no way.
And afterwards,
no way, bro. Stop it. Hey, stop it.
Tyrese was not a huge Transformers person. He was in Transformers. If you're gonna say anything, hold on.
bro.
If you're gonna say anything that relates, to something that Tyrese did, it's gonna be Fast and the Furious. And in Fast and the Furious, he is a pivotal cast member. He was only
I
not
forgot about Fast and Furious. So
Yes.
even still though, right? But even here's one thing about it. I guess when I hear him say that, right? When I hear him say, "Hey, I appreciate y'all for coming to support my movies," like when they talk like he is a like I don't get me wrong, he's in movies that have gone to generate several millions of dollars in the box office. I understand that.
Yeah.
But they ain't necessarily because of Tyrese. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that it could have been anybody else and it would have did just as well.
It could have been, but he is a part. When I'm saying, when it comes to the Fast and the Furious franchise, everybody thinks of Vin Diesel, of course. But I'm saying outside of that, he is a pivotal cast member, though. It's not like he's a side.
I would say okay, so let's say outside of Transformers, maybe if you say, all right, the other spot that people know him from is Fast and Furious. Okay, I'm with you. Don't tell me Baby Boy though, bro. Stop playing, bro.
That's what I'm saying. We finna prove it. I'm calling 2 people. We're gonna call 2 people to see if they answer. We doing this live. We're gonna see if they answer.
You're tripping, bro. It's that chain on top of your turtleneck, bro.
That's a fire right there.
The turtleneck.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
That's all right. He didn't answer. Watch him try to call me back while we on the joint. Let me see if there's other one to answer.
I'm gonna make one call.
Okay.
To the younger generation. I want to see.
That's what I'm doing too.
Good man.
Hey, this is Ahmad Kennedy calling from the Slash Brothers podcast.
I got you live on my podcast.
Real quick
Hang on one sec, okay?
When it comes to Tyrese in movies, what's the first movie that comes to mind?
When I think of him,
yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, Baby Boy for sure.
And how old are you, sir?
I am 22.
You're 22 years old, and the first movie that when you think of Tyrese is what, sir?
Baby Boy.
Baby Boy. I appreciate
Landon
contribution to the
Landon. Let me ask you this.
I'll call you back at later.
You know who Tyrese is, right? Oh my. No, Tyrese the actor. Oh my gosh. You disqualified, bro. All right, man.
Hold on, we try one more person. We try one more person. Oh, that's hilarious.
I said, do you know who Tyrese is? He said, who? Tyrese Halliburton? I got one.
Excuse me, sir. This is Ahmad Kennedy calling from the Slash Brothers podcast. You're live on the podcast right now. I just had a quick question for you, sir. When it comes to Tyrese, actor,
hang on.
What's the first movie that you think of when somebody says Tyrese?
Yeah, serious question?
Yes, serious question.
Baby Boy.
And how old are you, sir?
25.
You're 25 years old. Thank you so much for your contributions to Slash Brother podcast.
Let me ask you a question.
Later,
I got you live on the podcast. So you're live on the airway. It's your boy Charlie, Ace Kennedy. When you think of Tyrese, what's the first movie that comes to mind? Oh my God. What the hell are y'all talking about? So you think of Tyrese on Baby Boy before you think of Fast and Furious and Transformers?
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about what's solidified. I'm saying if you think of Tyrese and you think of pop culture, the first thing you think of is Baby.
Yep. I tried to tell you.
Hold on. He's gonna tell me why.
Put him on speaker.
Certainly it's cool, right? But to me, Baby Boy was more believable. It was just better all the way around. So when I think about that, it's the first movie that.
No, but when you say Tyrese, first movie that comes to mind, you said Baby Boy, the very first movie that comes to mind. It does. Oh my gosh!
I got one more. Hold up.
Let me make one more. That's all. You just.
No.
Right. I'm making 2 more phone calls
Hold on, I got one.
So I
got
can
one.
get some strength in numbers. All right, PBR.
It's mutual.
Peace. Jesus Christmas. If this one says it, I'm gonna say you're right. But golly.
I wish we could have a female perspective.
Please leave your message for
Oh, I got one.
All right. And I got one more. That's somebody. Yeah. I got one more. Go ahead.
All right, hang on. Let's see. So
Put the speaker to the mic.
I don't know if you can hear it. Oh my gosh, come on, pick up.
Oh, I got a
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I got one more good one. Hold on. This one good.
That is the
This
worst.
last one. This is the last one. Last one.
It's a Ahmad Kennedy. What's poppin', baby boy?
What's going on, Cockaroo? This is Ahmad Kennedy and Charles Venus Collins from the Brotherz podcast. You're live on the podcast. I had a quick question for you, sir.
Oh Lord, I'm scared.
When it comes to Tyrese, what movie comes to mind when you think of Tyrese?
Oh, that's horrible. I'm biased, man.
What's your bias?
Biased because it's not Tyrese. It's John Singleton, man.
Okay, but what?
If you ever, baby boy, man, it's baby boy.
He already disqualified
Fast
himself.
and Furious in second, but it's baby boy. It's gonna go in there and make them tacos.
Okay.
Once you make them, you gonna make them tacos.
That's what I just was. And how old are you, sir?
I can't hear him, so he's disqualified already. Hang on.
He said he's 45 years old. We appreciate your contributions to the Brotherz podcast, and we're gonna go. And I'll call you back later. I appreciate that.
He's disqualified, gang. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. He disqualified.
I'm just telling you, bro.
It took him too long. When he said he got to be biased, that just told me he was out of there. Hold on. I got one. Hold on. I got two more. One after. Let me see something. Boys don't ever pick up.
I got a female to call too.
I tried on that one, but they ain't pick up nothing. All right, DJ KD, I'm live right now on the Brotherz podcast with my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Ace Kennedy. I got one question that I got to ask you. We're doing for research purposes. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, listen. Tyrese Gibson. First movie that comes to mind. Quick on your feet. Oh. What? So
all right,
you don't think of so you.
All right, here go my last one.
Oh
Here go my last one. Here go my last one.
No Fast and Furious. No Trans.
It's my last one, bro.
I'm not asking you about the debut of that boy. Oh my God. All right, man. I'll call you back, bro. So the first movie that comes to mind when you hear Tyrese, you automatically think Baby Boy. Oh my gosh. All right, bro. I'll call you back. All right, bye.
please leave your message for
Jesus.
Anyway,
Christmas,
we done made 5-6 calls and everybody done said the same thing. So all I'm saying is when it comes to Tyrese, people think Baby Boy. So he carried that movie. He was the lead. He was first on the call sheet. Him and Tyrese. So again, that's his arena. He does music, and Tyrese puts on a great show. Tyrese can sing. I was just baffled with how discombobulated he looked. Like he tried to do the scenes. He did outfit changes. He has great songs. I don't understand why it was so lopsided the way that it was. And you know, Tank was prepared. Like Tyrese at one point was like, look, bro, stop worrying about the clock. Like just get out there and do you. Don't worry about the clock. And Tank was like, see, you don't want me to look at the clock, but that's because you couldn't fit your songs in the confines of what the time frame was. That's on you. Like he said, you wanted to sing a mid song longer, and that doesn't make it better. It's still mid. So nah, I'm cool with keeping to the time frame because I have allotted I have fit my songs into that box. It was crazy, bro. You and I talk song selection all the time. I do not think Tyrese presented his best material. Some of the songs I didn't even remember.
Hey, listen, man. I think that and this is my thing about it, bro. I think in the end, it's like this. Where I think that he came. Okay, so I got one question.
All right.
So that was Tank's touring band.
So that
Right?
band, I don't know. I don't know if that's his touring. He uses them a lot because the dude who was on the keyboard with the dreads, that's his band. But he was on there. But yeah, that's the band that I will say that is his touring band. He uses them a lot because that's the same band he had on the Tiny Desk. I've seen him use them for other stuff. So yeah, that's got to be his, like, even though that is a band per se, that is the band that goes with him. Like, you know, if
Tyrese's band had June's Diary in there, the two girls that was in the group that Kelly Rowland put together, right? Singing backup and everything, right? And I thought, with all things considered, they sounded good to me.
Yeah, and the other dude, the dude that Tank went over there and was like, "Yo, sing this part." He's a solo artist, but when they decided on who was going to be where, he was supposed to sing with Tyrese because he was like, "I need him." Because the dude who Tank was like, "Yo, grab the cordless mic." That's his background singer that's been with him forever. Yeah.
Listen, I think that it was over the minute that he started talking about the microphones. When he said that Tank got better reverb on his mic sound, when he said the sound man said, I said, oh, it's over. And that was before the turtleneck came out, though, bro.
Yeah, because you hit me to the turtleneck early. I didn't know what you meant. You just said, "Hey, did you get the turtleneck yet?" And I was like, he's wearing a turtleneck. And you was like, "Nah, you know exactly what I mean." And literally, when I turned it back on, I was in tears.
It was over. It was over. And listen, I think the thing that gets me is this. I know, like you said, I know that Tank can sing. The part that I think that I was very surprised by, it's like, don't get me wrong. I mean, Tyrese had to compensate, right? So I think that he thought that the theatrics, right, the flowers, the and the jacket changes and everything, right? I thought that there was going to be his extra little though, right? And I think that when that wasn't enough, it's like, all right, well, bro, that ain't gonna get it done. And outside of that, not getting it done, you ran out of songs to keep up with this man, though, bro. And here's the thing about it. I think that with all things considered, there were songs that I think that he left out on the table. Like, I don't with all things considered, they're in Atlanta, right? I think they were in Atlanta when they were they in Atlanta when they did this? I don't know where they were. They were in California. I'm sorry. So if you're in California, that makes it worse. But because I thought that the reason I thought they said Atlanta, because I thought that they said that Genuine was stuck in Atlanta, stuck at the airport. So I thought that they was in Atlanta. But anywho, though, right? If you in LA, you got Snoop Dogg out there, you can sing Baby Boy since that's your biggest movie, apparently. And I just, unbeknownst to me, right? You can go ahead and say, I got a surprise guest. You can sing What Do You Like? You bring Brett out there, though, bro. Like you Tyrese, and not that the features wanted. It was over before that, and that's what made it look even worse, though, bro. So I don't know, man. Like it's
Tank had one misstep. Man. Tank only had one misstep. The whole thing is when he did When We the remix. Like if you was gonna do When We, just do the remix. What I'm saying is if you wanted Trey songs. Plus, Trey Songz got some smoke on him right now, so that was kind of like, ugh. I mean, it was cringe. But other than that, though, he didn't have any missteps because he just, man, I'm telling you, it didn't matter. And here's the other thing: outside of the turtleneck, the other thing that would have killed Tyrese is because he wrote the song for Jamie Foxx.
Listen, bro. Listen, you know what made it look crazy is when Tyrese left on his last song and he said, yeah, y'all, we had to do interviews. And I'm thinking like, wait, I get that y'all have to do interviews and stuff afterwards, but you got to do it right then and there, right? You done left your girl out here on the thing and it just looked crazy. And I know that he said, no, we had the obligations and everything out there. That's cool. But bruh, it's just the optics of it just looked bad, bro. It looked real bad.
Especially when you came back and said we was actually supposed to end with a TGT song because Genuine was supposed to be there. So why did you have to go do the interviews right then? Especially when Tank had another song, like give your thank yous. Like I don't know. It looked like you said, it just looked so suspect, bro.
Everything about it. And I'm gonna tell you this though, man. I think it would have been crazy though, right? If I know that Tank was almost, it looked like he was going down that road of singing Tyrese's song, like at the end. And if he would have did that, it would have just been like, oh my God, it would have been overkill at that point, though, bro. But I think that in the end, though, bro, it's like, we talked about this before. It was almost like the singing, right? Because like we both said, Omarion had the bigger hits, right? Than Mario. But at the end of the day, when we talking about the singing, and that's what this Verzuz is being judged off of, it's like at some point, like Tyrese can sing. That's the thing I think that's Tyrese can sing, bro. And I'm just like, and I'm not saying that he can sing better than Tank. I just thought that he would present better, though, bro. Like I thought that he would fare so much better, bro.
I did too. Again, I am a fan of Tyrese. Obviously, I like Tank more, but I mean, he could have brought Jennifer Hudson out there to sing the hook of Shame. I don't know, bro. There was just so many missteps, and here's the thing: this is that they rehearsed because Tyrese has all the footage of the behind the scenes stuff that he's dropping.
I saw it.
Yeah, he's dropping it on his Patreon. So it's like you can't even say that you didn't have time to prepare. Like you knew about this in advance. There's no excuse.
The stall on the song drop was the one when he said, yeah. He said, let me ask you this question though. And then it played and I said, oh no. It was just bad, bro. I mean, it was literally like the worst case scenario. And then the thing about it is that like the whole time when I'm watching it with the research department, and she's just like, yo, Tank is killing them, but Tyrese is such a diva. And it's just making it look worse and worse and worse. And listen, I'm not gonna lie to it. At that point, though, bro, you might as well go ahead and lean into the loss at that point, like he did. And I get like, bro, you can't, like, it was so clear and so lopsided that all you got to do is just keep saying you won, like you don't care, you won. And at that point, what else can you do though, bro? Like, you got bodied in front of everybody, and when people say you are a diva, and when you get bodied in front of everybody the way he got bodied, it's just like I don't know what else you're supposed to do though, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I was so glad for people to see Tank the way that I know Tank to be. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking Tank all the time and people is like, bro, what is you talking about? No, everybody. No,
that's such a fan thing to say though, bro. Like that is like such a fan, like president of the Tank fan club thing to say though, bro. Because listen, I would say the same thing about you, right? I would say, I'm just glad that somebody got to see my boy sing in the light that I know that he can know. And the fact that you're using the same words for Tank is crazy, bro.
Hey, I do the same thing with the Thunder. Like, I'm so glad that people see the champions that the Thunder are that I saw. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad y'all finally got to see.
Oh my gosh, bro.
No, he killed it
Insane.
though, bro. I mean, you know, I heard Ebro and them talking about it. He was talking about how, you know, that's not kind of what you do in church. You know what I'm saying? You can just riff and go off the dome. And of course, if you are not from church, a lot of people know that from R. Kelly, just making up stuff off the top of the head.
Yeah.
And Tank will tell you you know, now don't get me wrong. Listen to what I'm saying, not what I'm saying. If there was I think the only other person that could have done like that against Tank would have been Jamie Foxx.
Yep.
Or I would have loved to see Tank versus R. Kelly. Don't get me wrong. I know Kels has unlimited hits. Like Kels would have to go against like Babyface or something. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying as far as the singer-songwriter aspect and producer, that's what I'm talking about.
You know who this is odd enough. Let me tell you this. You know who I think would put up a good fight for R. Kelly
Who was that?
would be Teddy Riley.
Yeah, but Teddy Riley went against Babyface, and
I know that, but you said Babyface. But I'm just saying, I'm just thinking that a person who I think got a catalog
he
that could
does.
rival R. Kelly's would be Teddy Riley, bro.
I get it. I get it. I see. I think a better versus for Tyrese would have been Genuine, and I think a better
True.
versus for Tank would have been Jamie Foxx.
Listen, man, this one it had me thinking. If Genuine stood in front of Tank, I think Tank would clearly be able to outsing him. But it does have me thinking. I was listening to the Genuine after the verses, and I was like, damn, boy, Genuine got some of them ones to where it's like the ones that aren't the hits, right? It's the ones that I think that still resonate with true genuine fans, very much like how Usher had the songs that aren't the number one songs that are like their favorite Usher songs. All right,
I
that's
understand
how I
that,
think genuine got it.
but the problem is, I don't even think that Genuine can sing better than Tyrese right now.
I don't think that he can. No, I don't. I don't think so either.
So, with that
Uh,
being said, that's what would have held him back because again, had Tyrese picked the right songs, it would have been closer. So I don't think that Genuine would pick whack stuff. It's just that I don't know that Genuine would sound as good as he used to. And so that probably would be the issue when it came to the performance aspect.
And he can't, and he doesn't perform like he used to either, though. And not that. Listen, he's older now, though, right? Because Genuine got to be about 50,
Yeah.
15. So I don't know that the expectation. Listen, this is the one thing that's tough, though, right? It's because I think that's one of the things that I think that we do as well. That's different. Even when we watch people, you might watch New Edition go, and you think that New Edition is like almost 60 years old, though, bro. Some of them are over 60. So the expectation that you still dance as good as I remember you to dance back in your prime, bro. When your prime for New Edition was 40 years ago, basically, though. And so even with Genuine, when we think about that, if Genuine's 50, that
He's
means that his
55.
prime was like 25 years ago. He's 55.
55.
So Genuine's prime was 30 years ago then, right? So to think that when people see him out there on stage and you like people, I think that's the one thing that we do because you think about it. There are people that we love. I don't know that other listen, I'm gonna call this a black thing because I don't know that other races do this. But there are people that we love so much at their peak of what they did, though, bro, that I'm always gonna see them like that. So I don't know if like white people see Justin Timberlake the same way. Like I do when I see Usher performs. I still expect Usher to do a stellar dance routine, though, bro. And I don't expect that from Justin Timberlake, right? And so even then, I still think because I know Usher. I saw the My Way tour and I saw the dances and I see Beyonce. And even though Beyonce got to be 45 and still, it's like I don't know that I think Beyonce is still technically in her prime, but I'm saying like I think the genuine when you really put context to it, though, right? Somebody who's 55 years old and people be making the jokes about his dancing now And I'm thinking, like, bro, he's 55 years old, though, bro. Like, you're really expecting, like, I got knee problems now, though, bro. Like, I like my groin don't open up like it used to, though, bro. My hips don't like nah. So when I see Genuine, I think of I was gonna say, yo, his performance ain't what it used to be, and his singing ain't what it used to be. It's like,
Damien.
come on, man.
What's up, man?
This is Ahmad Kennedy calling from the Slash Brothers podcast, and I have Charles Venus on as we're podcasting live at the moment. Just have one quick question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
When you think of Tyrese, what is the first movie that comes to mind?
Tyrese. Oh, man, first movie. Now you're gonna have to forgive me. I forget the name of it. What's the movie he was in with Megan Good? Where he played the
Come on, Waist
gangster.
Deep.
Waist Deep.
Waist Deep. That's the first movie I think of, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate your input. We was trying to poll people to see what they thought when the first time that the first movie that came to mind. Most people said Baby Boy, so that's a good one that you said Waist Deep, but you still didn't say Transformers. So that was kind of where we was going with it. So
Okay, I understand.
I appreciate you, homeboy, and I'll holler at you.
Have a good one. Peace.
Boy,
Still got another one that didn't say Transformers.
hold on, bro, because you gonna make me. Now you got me. Now I gotta try this.
He called me back.
Hey, Cuzzo, I got a question for you, man. I got you live now on the Slash Brothers podcast with my brother from another mother, Ace Kennedy. I need you to settle a debate real quick. All right, listen. Tyrese, the first movie that comes to your mind. Oh my God. All right, boy. Oh my
Maya,
God.
this is Ace Kennedy
So
calling from
much
the Slash
more.
Brothers podcast. Have you live with your uncle Charles Venus, and I just had a quick question for you.
Oh my God. All
When
right,
you
brother.
think-
I holler back at you. All right.
When you think of
All
Tyrese
right, boy.
Gibson, what is the first movie that comes to mind?
That one movie where he's playing Jody.
The one movie where he's playing who? Jody?
Jody? Yeah.
So you're referring to Baby Boy.
Yeah.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 23.
I appreciate your input for the Slash Brothers podcast, and I will
God.
definitely call you later on. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Listen, Rocky said, I think about him getting choked out on there. I said, oh my gosh, bro.
You want some eggs?
Oh my gosh, man.
I'm telling you, bro, one person out of everybody we called is
That's
the only person
insane,
that
bro.
said something, and he ain't even
I'm
say
just-
Transformers.
Oh
I'm
my
telling you,
gosh.
Baby Boy is a cult classic, bro. It's up there with Friday and all.
It is one of my favorites. I just didn't think it was like that to the peoples.
It is, bro. After the Sprite commercial, it's Baby Boy, bro. I'm telling you.
Nah, he would have been better off singing the always Coca-Cola jingle up there. Hell.
He should have started it with like that, like how Tank started with an intro. So yeah. Well,
Yeah,
hey,
man.
we got
Bad
about
boy.
5 minutes left, bro. What else you want to get into? We get it.
Hey man, listen, I do. Oh, I got a question for you. I
What's
have a question for you. Did you see that Jaden Ivey had recently got let go by the Chicago Bulls, bro?
I did, and it's warranted.
You think it is warranted? Okay, so
Absolutely
let me ask you this though.
Mhm.
So he went live and he said a bunch of stuff that is I guess people said is anti-LGBTQ. He said a bunch of stuff that was anti-Catholicism. He went on a very religious kind of not I'm not gonna say rant, but he
No.
basically he spoke his truth, his feelings basically.
He made his personal opinions public. It wasn't
Okay.
anti-gay. He didn't say he hated gay people, nothing like that. It's just he
Right.
believes the way the Bible speaks about, a man and a woman being together. And unfortunately, it's just like when you and I talk, right? I am not going to make many statements about the government or who's running the government or how they running the government because I work for the government. Everybody who has a position, there's things and rules and stuff that they have to abide by. If your company that you work for, being the NBA, partners with people who are part of the LGBTQ community and they do Pride Month or Black History Month or any other thing that they decide to celebrate, you have to participate if you choose to work for that organization. It doesn't matter if your views align with what you don't, but the thing is that you can't make your views public. You sign a contract, and in that contract, it states X, Y, and Z. So you are allowed to have freedom of speech, but you're not free from the consequences of your speech. So the Atlanta Hawks made a stand, just like Jaden and Ivey made a stand. So again, it's warranted for the Bulls. I'm sorry, it's warranted for the Bulls to have let him go because his views don't align with the organizations.
Okay, so listen, man. I think that here's the one thing I think that is a very tough scenario because I agree what you're saying. Here's the thing. I don't think that he's wrong in the sense of if this is how he's expressing, if this is what he believes, right? And he didn't seem like he was anti them. He didn't seem like he hate them. It's just he said this is what I personally believe. I also feel like it's I don't feel like the Bulls were wrong either in saying, "Hey, we got it. You're free to express how you feel over there. You go have all the opinions that you want to put publicly. Go ahead and sit in this corner and doing that though." I think that where it does feel like these days, man, it's selective, right? Because like when you really think about it, right? Um, there have been people who have done and said worse that have still been in the league, right? So you think about Miles Bridges, right? I mean, he basically got like suspended for a bunch of games. He's back in the league, right? You got there's been a bunch of people who have done and said more words about some similar touchy things. I think the only time that I've seen a person say something that they could say is offensive was the one cat who said the Jewish slur or whatever it was though. Like sometimes some company he ain't been seen since though. I think that's the only one I could think of though, bro. But I think that I honestly feel like this is the thing I think is crazy. I honestly feel like the sentiment that I've guessed, and now when I say this, I'm talking about the conversations that I've had and things that I've read and every comment that I don't think that people feel like it's that bad, although I understand why the Bulls reaction was what it was. My question for you is, do you think that as young as he is, that he gets another opportunity for another team?
I have no idea. This is why he is literally going to have to claim a mental health issue at the moment because here's the thing. It's not so much what he said. It's how he said it. Because you could say that, hey, I personally don't agree with blah, 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 blah. But you went and attacked the league because you said the league is out here doing this. They're celebrating Pride Month. They're making people do this and da 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 da. Like you're talking about the league. So now you're talking about your employer. So the difference is if you make a statement about an organization, like if you would have said something about the LGBTQ, then they can give you remedial training. But you're commenting on your organization about how they're dealing with those partners. You can't
I feel what you're saying. Here's where I'm at with it. He just recently signed a fairly short contract, and I'm gonna assume that either he's gonna get paid or they kind of have some clause where they can get out of it. The money aside, I honestly feel like this is the thing that I think that's crazy. I honestly feel like that while he is plenty good, I think that in these days the Bulls can find someone who can give them the same thing, and I think that's the reason why they felt so comfortable with making that decision that fast. So right, like I don't.
You
Yes,
already signed for the rest of the year.
Yes, I don't think that there are only a handful of players to me in the NBA where you say, no, they're irreplaceable. You cannot find anybody else like them. I think that's the case. But here's the thing. Here's the reason why I think that. If I'm not mistaken, no, man, I think that Mark Jackson has been basically blackballed for either saying or feeling something very similar, being overly religious about that.
Yeah.
And who knows the exact words that he actually said, but he's been out of the league since forever for it. So I can almost kind of see that if the league's always going to take its stance on supporting the LGBT community and all these other things, that if they're saying, no, this is just what we do, and if we're always going to support that, then I'm okay with not having you be a part of our league.
Let me ask you a question. How would you have felt if a white person would have made similar comments about the NBA doing the Black History Month celebration, and they were the similar skill set to Jaden Ivey?
This is the reason why I think that I would feel a little different, and not to seem like I'm biased on that one, because you're in a league that's 90% Black people.
You are, but
right.
But,
so listen. So if and this is my thing about it. If I'm in the NBA and 90% of my players are Black, and let's just say 70% of my coaches are Black, if you say that 50% of my referees are Black, then I think that you can say, if you don't like celebrating Black history, you can go to a league that don't celebrate Black history.
So
see you on out the way.
You would be
and
okay. So you would be okay with the league dismissing that individual. So
and that's why I'm okay with the Bulls letting him go as well.
Exactly.
I'm just saying that I got like for that same reason. Hang on one second. Dang it. Never mind. I was trying to catch that. I have to have my call back. But no, I understand. Like I said, I understand why. I understand everything that he was trying to say about how he personally feels. Right. But again, like a lot of times though, man, when you're saying I want to be a part of this organization, there's checks and balances, right? Like you said, there are reasons why. And I had to check myself, because even on our pod, we used to get into things that were more political though, right? I'm like, listen, out of respect for you working for the government in a high ranking capacity, I'm like, yo, I got to fall back on those conversations out of respect for you working for the government.
Right.
And you know,
we still have those conversations. We just don't have them on camera, because I have to respect the organization that I work for. I like my job. I like the money that I make. So I can still have my opinions and I can still express my opinions, but there's a time and a place. And so my thing is, it's a privilege to be in the NBA, and there's a lot of people that want that spot. So if you got that, if you feel that way, you can feel that way, sir. But
I don't have to say everything. I don't have to say everything I feel for $20 million a year. Now, if you're telling me that part of you making 15 to 20 a year and taking care of your family for the rest of your life and the rest of their life, is that, yeah, there are some things you probably can't say. I don't feel like I'm a sellout for not saying everything.
I don't either. And anybody I don't care.
I get it. I get it though, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
man, what's going on for the week, bro?
Putting the room back together. Everything. I mean, the carpet's down, the drywall's up, the paint's dry, all of that. So just getting everything back together so I can get the studio back up, so I can get to recording. Yeah, that's all I got. What you got?
Yeah, man, I am mixing before I go ahead and get a little chance to get some sunshine out here, though, man. The next we got spring break next week, so I'm trying to go ahead and finalize a couple of songs, though, man. Got some dope ones that I'm recording too as well. So I'm pretty excited. I'm in the lab basically all week long, locked in, though, bro.
That's what's up. Well, look, man, we are the Slash Brothers from ATL to OKC. We will see y'all next one. Hopefully, we can get this YouTube, Facebook thing fixed. It wasn't on our end, but we love y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Thanks.
If you smell
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?